Oh, sure. Like, just take it off. Okay. This is really fun. Do-da-da-do-da. Be mine, be smart, behave, my heart. Don't upset your cart when he's so close. Be soft, be sweet, but be discreet. Don't go off your feet. It's too close for comfort. Too close for comfort. Not again. Too close to know just when to say when. Be firm, be fair, be sure, beware. On your guard, take care. Well, there's such temptation. One thing leads to another. Too late to run for cover. He's much too close for comfort now. Be my eyes, be smart, behave, my heart. Don't upset your card when you're so close. Be soft, be sweet, but be discreet. Don't go off your feet. He's too close for comfort. Please, not again. Just when do I say when? Be firm, be fair, be sure, beware. On your guard, take care while there's such temptation. One thing leads to another. Too late to run for cover. He's much too close for comfort now. Just when do I say when? Be firm, be fair, be sure, beware. On your guard, take care while there's such temptation. One thing leads to another. Too late to run for cover. He's much too close for comfort now. One thing leads to another. Too late to run for cover. He's much too close for comfort now.
Thank you.
Too close for comfort now.
Hello, graduates, staff, families, and friends. Welcome to the 2021 graduation event for Century High School. We have some more important announcements to share with you, so give us your attention for a few minutes. In the unlikely event we need to evacuate the stadium, a loud horn will sound. Should this occur during the event, remain calm, quickly proceed to the nearest exit, and gather on softball fields 2 or 5, located adjacent to the end zone areas, where you will receive further instructions. In the event of severe weather or lightning, we will make an announcement and observe a 30-minute delay. We will make the announcement at the end of the 30 minutes to let you know if the event can proceed or if an additional delay is necessary. Washington County is currently in the lower risk category for COVID-19. This means outdoor recreation and entertainment venues are able to allow spectators up to 50% of their maximum capacity. Masks are not required to be worn as long as you are able to maintain 6 feet of physical distance between yourself and people outside of your household. Masks are still recommended for people who are unvaccinated or will have underlying health conditions, and for all people when they are in crowds or otherwise unable to maintain 6 feet of physical distance. Guests have been issued assigned seats. It is important that you sit in your assigned seat and do not either move to another location or sit in spaces that have been taped off for physical distancing purposes. Your understanding and your cooperation in these health and safety protocols are very much appreciated. At the conclusion of the graduation ceremony, students will be directed to exit on the north side of the field. Guests will not be allowed onto the field and will instead be asked to exit the same way they entered, keeping physical distancing in mind. You are then asked to drive around to the north end of the stadium to pick up your student and exit the property as promptly as possible. Please be courteous and respectful of one another, and let's make this a fun and memorable event for our graduates. Thank you so much.
Hola, graduados, personal y familias y amigos. Bienvenidos al evento de graduación de la Escuela Preparatoria Century. Tenemos unos anuncios muy importantes para compartir con ustedes. Por favor, danos tu atención por unos momentos. En el improbable caso de que tengamos que evacuar el estadio, sonará una bocina fuerte. Si esto ocurre durante el evento, por favor mantenga la calma, diríjase directamente a la salida más cercana y reúnase en el campo de softball 2 o 5, ubicado junto a las zonas finales donde recibirá más instrucciones. En el evento de clima severo o relámpagos, haremos un anuncio y observaremos un retraso de 30 minutos. Haremos un anuncio después de los 30 minutos para avisarles si podemos continuar o si un retraso adicional es necesario. El condado de Washington se encuentra actualmente en la categoría de menor riesgo para COVID-19. Esto significa que los lugares de recreación y entretenimiento al aire libre pueden permitir hasta el 50% de su capacidad máxima. No se requiere el uso de máscaras mientras es posible mantener al menos 6 pies de distancia física entre usted y personas fuera de su hogar. Máscaras todavía se recomiendan para personas que no están vacunados o que tienen condiciones de salud y para todas personas cuando estén en multitudes que no pueden mantener los 6 pies de distancia física. A los invitados se les asignaron asientos. Es importante que se sientan en sus puestos asignados y no se muevan a otro lugar ni se sienten en espacios con cinta con fines de distanciamiento físico. Se agradece su comprensión y cooperación con estos protocolos de seguridad y salud. Al final de la ceremonia de graduación, los estudiantes serán dirigidos a la salida del lado norte del campo. Los invitados no serán permitidos en el campo y se les pedirá que salgan por la misma parte donde entraron, manteniendo la distancia física en mente. Después, se les pide que manejen hacia la salida donde está el estadio para recoger a su estudiante y salir de la propiedad lo más prontamente posible. Por favor, sean corteses y respetuosos uno con otros y hagamos que este evento sea divertido y memorable para nuestros graduados. Gracias.
Thank you, Elias. Ladies and gentlemen, pomp and circumstance will begin momentarily. Please be seated so that the band can begin.
Damas y caballeros, la canción Pomp and Circumstance comenzará momentáneamente. Por favor, busquen sus asientos para que la banda pueda comenzar.
you, Mariana Monroy, for your help tonight. Good evening, and welcome to the 23rd commencement ceremony for Century High School. Please join me in celebrating the class of 2021. Graduates, please stand and face our guests for a round of applause.
Welcome to the 23rd graduation of Century High School.
Graduates, you may be seated.
Welcome to the 23rd graduation of Century High School, the class of 2021. At this time, please rise as the senior choir members and underclassmen of concert choir will perform the Star-Spangled Banner.
You may be seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce the rest of our distinguished guests. To my right are HSD Superintendent Mike Scott and Board Directors Martin Granum, Mark Watson, and Student Representative to the School Board, Maya Smith. Seated to my left is a teacher who has a wide range of impact on the class of 2021, our senior class selected faculty speaker, Mr. Scott Thomas, along with 12th grade assistant principal Julie Casper. Next, a talented young woman who was chosen as the student speaker for this evening's commencement, Anna Castillo. Also with me on stage are your masters of ceremony for this evening, an energetic, focused group of students who've done an excellent job providing strong, positive leadership as class officers for the class of 2021. President Katie Mckinley, Vice President Grace Curley, and Secretary Treasurer Andre Barrett. Words cannot express how delighted I am to be here today and what a joy it is to be a part of this important celebration and rite of passage. We have been through a great deal since last March, and we have persevered and overcome many obstacles. Some we expected and others we did not. Century High School is an outstanding school, and this is due in part to the incredible work of our exemplary teaching and classified staff, our administrators and counseling staff. Their work in the last 15 months to respond to the demands of a pandemic response, the needs of their students and their community has been beyond all expectations. At this time, I ask all of Century's staff to stand and be recognized, whether you're on the stage, in the field, or in the stands. It is without question that our seniors have worked so very hard to get to this point. This year, more than ever, that holds true. Yet we also know it takes the loving support of those near and dear to our hearts to bring out the best in us. To all the parents, guardians, grandparents, student mentors, and family members, you have played a tremendous role in your students' lives. You have been through such challenges determining the best decisions for your students at this time. Tonight is as much about recognizing your efforts, your advocacy, and your support during your students' K-12 journey. At this time, I would like all of our parents, family members, and mentors to stand up and be recognized. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to Century's Senior Class President, Ms. Katie McKinley.
Thank you, Ms. Guys. I would like to begin by welcoming my fellow graduates and their families to our graduation. My name is Katie McKinley, and I am your Senior Class President. I could start this speech just like any other graduation speech, where I say 4 years ago today, we all started high school together, and it's crazy how fast time went by and how it's all coming to an end and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, this past year alone has been much more eventful than that and deserves a much more accurate introduction, so here goes. Thank you all for being here with us today to celebrate not only a huge milestone in each of our lives, but for joining us on the first and last time we will ever be together as a senior class. What at first seemed like it would take ages to reach has now crept up on us so quickly. Before you walk across this stage today, take a moment with me to reflect on all the experiences, accomplishments, and lessons you've learned and which brought you into this very moment. Reflect on the many sleepless nights you stayed up finishing a school project or preparing for a test. Reflect on all the times you were running late for school and realized, yep, I forgot my project on the kitchen counter. Reflect on all the times you looked at your notes to remember Miss Gur's Starbucks order and hoped she would forgive you for being late to first period. Yeah, coconut milk vanilla latte is forever up here. Reflect on the school dances. Reflect on the football games, hanging out with your friends at lunch, in the parking lot, or after school at Dutch. For some of you, it was a band or choir concert. For others, maybe a game or two that seemed to be cut so short. As I stand here today, I ask you to look back on all the memories and be proud of those accomplishments, no matter how big or how small they may have been. While we all attended the same high school, sat next to each other in the same English or math class, had the same teacher or two, these past 4 years have been quite different for all of us. While it's important to celebrate the landmarks like the one we are celebrating today, remember to take time to recognize the little things and reflect on the small wins along the road. They are different for all of us and what make us unique in our own way. They are the experience that make us who we are, and whatever they may be, be proud of who you are and what makes you special. The things that make you different bring us a lot closer together than you may think. Now everyone take a deep breath with me. Look around at your fellow classmates. Take it all in, because it only happens once. We're graduating. Even after a crazy year of toilet paper shortages, Google Meet after Zoom call after FaceTime, realizing you made it all the way to the store and you forgot your mask, and hiding out from family members out of fear they may ask you to go on another walk, we made it. Today marks the beginning of the rest of our lives, they say, but the truth is we have already been living it. By this I mean, if we are constantly dwelling on the past or in fear of what might happen in the future, the present is going to sneak by right under our noses. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. So take advantage of what's right in front of you. Call your friend or your family member once in a while. Set your phone down at the dinner table. And don't be afraid to start going after your dreams. Anything is possible in this very moment if you set your mind to it. And like the past, no matter how far you go in this very moment, we are a lot closer together than you may think. Now take one last deep breath with me. They say in the movie Up, adventure is out there. At this moment, it is up to you what happens next. Where, who, and what you become is all in the very palm of your hands. Instead of fearing what is out there, embrace it and create your own destiny. Life is what you make of it, and only you have the power to control it. It is going to throw you curveballs and things that you never see coming. But as long as you take it all in and come out optimistically on the other side, you will be okay. Whether your next adventure is college, the military, trade school, or whatever it may be, it is meant for you and only you. And I wish you the best of luck. Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year may be different for all of us. But no matter how far we go, we are a lot closer together than you may think. You see, time is a funny thing. It never stops, it never slows down, it just keeps on moving. And as time goes by, it carries each and every one of us into different directions. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today and to take up a fraction of your time. It has been such an honor being your senior class president and walking alongside you as you become the amazing person you are, and I know you will continue to be. With our time together coming to an end, I leave you with this. Don't forget to take pride in the little victories and the things that make you unique. While we all share different journeys on how we got here, those journeys are what make you special in your own way. Don't forget to take advantage of what's right in front of you, for the present is a gift, and you can do anything starting in this very moment if you set your mind to it. Lastly, don't forget adventure is out there. Instead of fearing the unknown, create your own story. The past, the present, and the future amongst us don't always share many similarities, but what they do share is that no matter the distance, we are all under the same stars. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to the class of 2021. It is now my pleasure to welcome back our principal, Miss Martha Geis.
Thank you, Katie. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you someone who's dedicated to providing a first-class education to the children of Hillsboro, our superintendent, Mike Scott.
Good evening. On behalf of the Hillsboro School District, it's truly an honor to be with you here tonight celebrating the outstanding achievements of Century High School's class of 2021. To all the family members and friends who are here this evening, we extend our sincere appreciation. The patience, grace, and partnership that you have extended over the past 13 years, and particularly the past 15 months, is greatly appreciated. Your presence at this event signifies that you value education and recognize the importance of the hard work and perseverance that these students have demonstrated throughout their high school years. Thank you to Principal Geis and the amazing team of teachers and staff who have worked to make a difference in the lives of our students. Over and over again, you've had to reimagine and reinvent what schools look like and felt like. And I appreciate all that you do on behalf of our students. I'd also like to take a minute to introduce the members of our dedicated school board who serve the community. Lisa Allen, Sheehan Kim, Jackie Spross, Yadira Martinez, Erica Lopez, and our two board members who are here this evening, Martin Granum and Mark Watson. We appreciate your service, and on behalf of the students of Hillsboro and the many, many hours that you have contributed to kids over this past year. To the graduates here, congratulations. Your commitment and resilience are absolutely amazing. You found success and thrived during a very difficult time. Graduates, you know that thing that happens whenever you start to complain about something and say how hard school is? You may say something innocent like, I cannot take another Google Meets class. I can't do one more thing online. Or you might say something like, I'm frozen again. However, this comment is oftentimes met with a response from the parents like, you have no idea how easy you have it. When I was a kid, And you hear that phrase, when I was a kid, you know what's coming next. You're going to hear that they had to walk 5 miles to school each day and uphill in the snow. You start hearing things like, I had to get up to change the channel on the TV. You don't know how easy you have it. If I wanted to watch a movie, I had to go to Blockbuster and get a DVD. When I answered the phone, I didn't know who was calling. There was no caller ID. I had a PS1, not a PS5. I had to memorize phone numbers. They just weren't logged in my phone. And we didn't have music just at our fingertips. We had to burn our own CDs. You hear about all the hardships. Almost becomes a contest of who had it worst. Each generation had their own stories and what they had to overcome. I can tell you that someday when you have a kid in high school, they start to complain about how hard they had it, you'll have a story that beats anything they can come up with. You've endured a worldwide pandemic. There's nothing that can compete with that. And the amazing thing is that it hasn't defined or destroyed you. You've taken an incredibly difficult situation and used it to make yourself stronger. You've appreciated what you've had, not what you've missed. You've learned that a strong Wi-Fi signal comes and goes, but strong connections last a lifetime. You emerged from a challenging time stronger than you were before. The way that you've responded are more important, more defining, more lasting than the difficult circumstances. And you're going to have the best I walked to school uphill both ways story of all time. As you graduate, I hope that you take it all in. The ceremony, being with your friends, being with your family, all that you've anticipated and worked towards. This is the moment that you've pictured. This is a moment that during this past year, you've probably wondered if it would actually happen. And yet here you are. It's happening and you deserve it. So enjoy this moment and those that you are with. The moment that you worked so hard for, the moment you've heard about, the moment that you've thought about. Take some time to think back on and be thankful for all of those people who have helped you along the way. Reflect on the teachers and the counselors, your family members, the assistants, the playground attendants, and the principals who have encouraged you and cared for you. This is your moment. The diploma that you will receive tonight signifies the accomplishment of a successful partnership between each of you in the Hillsboro School District. It signifies an incredible amount of work. It showcases the challenges that you've overcome and the successes that you've achieved. We're so proud of your accomplishments, and we're honored to share this night with you. Congratulations, and enjoy the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. As the class of 2021 receives their diplomas, you'll notice many students wearing different colored cords, tassels, and stoles that represent earned honors. White tassels represent students who've earned Chancellor's Diploma, which means that they've demonstrated their commitment to a rigorous course of study for high school in order to prepare for college success. Blue and gold cords or gold cords represent students in the National Honor Society. These students have maintained a minimum of 3.5 GPA and also completed at least 40 hours of community service. Twisted blue and gold cords represent graduating seniors who have earned 9 or more credits through the PCC dual credit program. We also have some program-specific cords. Purple cords represent students who have earned a cord through the AVID program. AVID stands for Achievement via Individual Determination. Royal blue and white cords recognize students' achievements in DECA. DECA stands for Distributive Education Clubs of America. Ruby and silver cords represent the forensics program. Blue cords represent Key Club. Light blue and black cords represent students who have served on a local or state level school board. Teal stoles represent students who have earned an honors designation. They have earned a Chancellor's Diploma and maintained a 3.7 GPA or higher. The following cords represent college and career pathway programs. Green and white cords represent the business program. Purple and white cords represent the fine arts and media education program. Light blue and purple cords represent the human resources program. Light blue and royal blue cords represent the early childhood program. White and silver cords represent the culinary arts program. Silver cords represent the technology and manufacturing programs. Red and white cords represent the health sciences and criminal justice programs. Solid red cords represent the fire science program. Magenta and silver cords represent the leadership program. Silver and black cords represent the auto program. This class has also earned over $2.6 million in academic scholarships to universities and colleges throughout the United States and Canada. They have donated countless hours of community service to their school, their community, and raised tens of thousands of dollars for their school, as well as local, national, and international charities. We can applaud for that right now. I'd like to introduce Senior Class Vice President Grace Curley.
I would now like to introduce David Lambert, who is performing This Town by Niall Horan.
Waking up to kiss you when nobody's there. The smell of your perfume still stuck in the air. It's hard. Yesterday I thought I saw your shadow running round. It's funny how things never change in this old town. So far from the stars. And I wanna tell you everything, the words I never got to say the first time around. And I remember everything when we were the children playing this playground. Staring out, as if the whole world was watching us do this to you. Turn highways and byways and be there with you.
welcome Class Secretary and Treasurer Andre Barrett.
Our student speaker today was chosen by a faculty and student committee. We are pleased to introduce Anna Castillo. Anna will speak to our original class motto, no matter the distance, at the end of the day, we are all under the same stars.
Good evening. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I'd like to thank our parents, teachers, and faculty for celebrating with us today and for supporting us both academically and emotionally up until this final moment. Buenas noches. Bienvenidos a la ceremonia de graduación de la clase de 2021. Me gustaría agradecer a nuestros padres, maestros y profesores por celebrar con nosotros hoy y por apoyarnos hasta este momento final. My name is Anna Castillo, and before I begin, I would appreciate if you joined me in a moment of silence for all the friends, family, and people we lost amidst the pandemic. Everyone we lost to COVID-19, to police brutality and racial prejudices, and of course, one of our own Jaguars, Manuel Perez. Thank you. 1,367 days ago, the class of 2021 entered Century High School as freshmen. We roamed the halls as 14-year-olds trying to figure out the difference between North and South halls, and by junior year, we were forced to pave out our plans for the future. It is no secret that we are forced to grow up uncomfortably fast. We're told to enjoy our teenage years because they're the best years of our lives. Come to find that living up to this is easier said than done. At 15, we begin our official journey in self-discovery, bouncing from clique to clique, hoping one of them will take us in and tell us who it is that we are. At age 16, we have PSATs, college tours, and extracurricular activities that keep us too preoccupied to put ourselves out there. Then we're 17. We're forced to juggle a job, AP classes, and the impending fear of life after high school, all while maintaining a good reputation. We were plunged into junior year without warning of what was to come that spring. The Little Mermaid, sports seasons, the band's Disneyland trip, the choir's New York trip, and our percussion theater season were all taken from us overnight. By late July, it was clear our senior year would also likely disappear. We have missed every senior tradition we've looked forward to since freshman year, everything from a legit senior sunrise to prom. It is hard for others to understand the pain of losing this year because as much as we would have loved to attend prom, fame night, and even coordinate a senior prank, it is the little things in high school that we truly wanted. After a safely, socially distanced lacrosse game in April, my friends and I decided to go out and ended up at Wendy's. We drove back to school and sat in the back of Zoe Perkins' car and ate and laughed. It was in those small moments I realized this is the kind of night my senior year should have consisted of. It was bittersweet. I don't remember the last time I was that happy. Unfortunately, there are no rewinds, no second chances. All we can do is appreciate the things we did get and take pride in small victories. Like recording parodies of Romeo and Juliet, the Addams Family play, the group chat from Mr. Kaiser's AP European History class, the band's standing ovation for Illuminate at the Century Showcase, some of our athletes getting recruited for college sports, the intense crossfires at MUN, and even Mrs. Burnett's avid class winning the door decoration contest sophomore year. Missing every senior tradition has left a gap in our hearts and has created a lingering feeling of pain. But high school is only a small portion of our lives, and it is important to be thankful that we have made it this far. COVID-19 crept up on us, and yet here we are still standing. Though we may be leaving here tonight with the possibility of never seeing each other again, no matter the distance, at the end of the day, we are all under the same stars. As we sit together for the last time, I want you to know that your worth is not defined by the number of cords on your neck, your final GPA, what college you're attending this fall, or if you're not going to college. Graduating high school is just one milestone. This isn't all life has to offer, but being able to spend the last 4 years of my life with you has been an honor. I am proud of each and every one of you for overcoming the countless obstacles the universe has thrown at you throughout the course of high school. I wish you all the very best of luck in everything you do. Remember to love without exceptions, treat people with kindness, and keep moving forward. Thank you.
We are pleased to welcome Century Band members Andrew Chong, Ethan Walker, John Babia, Nick Legree, Kathleen Taylor, Melanie Felzine, William Parasin, Cameron Whitney, and Mariana Monroy Gonzalez performing Ben Platt's Older.
I was walking down 53rd Street to the park with the same old song in my same old heart, making plans I'm gonna do when I get older. Past a gray-haired man and I found his eyes. It's like he knew my thoughts and he read my mind, saying life is gonna find you when it's supposed to. Felt my feet stop short and I turned my head, tried to lean into every word he said. Then he said, when you are young, you wish you're older. And when you're older, you wish for time to turn it back. Don't let your wonder turn into closure. When you get older, when you get older. Right before the prime, have I bit my tongue one too many times? Have I said it all the way I really meant to? If I wait till my tomorrow comes, the waiting all I've ever done, and I will get to know myself and who I am, and to fall in love with another man. You wish you're older, then when you're older, you wish for time to turn back. Don't let your wonder turn into closure. When you get older, when you get older. You wish
Thank you, Century Band. It is my pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker. Mr. Scott Thomas was chosen by the senior class as a teacher to represent the faculty at Century High School.
Mr. Thomas, you're muted.
Oh gosh, I'm muted. I'm sorry. You'd think after a year and a half of teaching CDL I would have that one figured out by now, but hey, at least my camera's on, right? I'm so honored to be delivering this graduation speech to such an amazing, talented, and thoughtful group of students. I would also like to acknowledge the key people in attendance today, here or online, that have helped you get to this point, including your family and friends, our extraordinary Century staff, Superintendent Mike Scott and the board, and our admin team, including our resilient principal, Miss Guys, who's the epitome of grit this past year. In preparing for this speech, I came across a lot of examples that told the graduating class to go out and make as much money as they could, and they'd end up happy. I felt as a public school teacher that it would be hypocritical of me to do anything like that. I also am promising you that I will not mention anything about COVID in my speech. And since I just did, I promise not to do that again. I want to encourage you guys today to do two things. Always keep an open mind and an open door. It was the great Mark Twain that said, "When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years." Society has become more divisive as it seems you have to agree with someone or be blocked by them on Insta. We need to be able to disagree with each other, but do so civilly. At times, we need to choose to be kind instead of insisting on being right. I'm not saying not to disagree. Please challenge the status quo and demand better from our systems. I'm advocating that we do so with human decency and compassion, leading our charge and efforts. There's a breadth of knowledge out there, and the person that you disagree with is also a person you can learn a lot from. An added bonus is that in speaking our truth in love to those we disagree with, we offer them the opportunity for growth as well. An open-minded mentality allows us to grow from our experience, which we can only then benefit from. Some might even call it a growth mindset. That was supposed to get a few laughs. Jags, continue to seek truth and learn from each other. Do not put limitations on your own personal growth by merely surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Rather, choose to engage in civil discourse, and sometimes, maybe, you'll find that those that do not share your same position or viewpoint might even have some good points of their own. I'm confident this generation, and especially this class, will continue to view others with impartiality. Keeping an open door means allowing new people into your inner circle. We're better when we do life together. I'm talking about a handful of people, not hundreds. Think of this thought. You might not have met your best friend yet. And you likely haven't met your life partner yet. This means we need to give people a chance. Some of my fondest memories are with the people most unlikely to become my friends. Initiate tough conversations. Communicate your feelings. Speak honestly and open with each other. Celebrate the successes you have in life with those close to you. Like today. Take some time to cherish it and dance a little bit. Okay, hopefully better than that, guys. Hopefully, you can do better. As the activities director at Century High School, I'm blown away by the willingness and time devoted to service from you guys. The canned food drive, our wildfire donations, Thanksgiving baskets, what NHS, CCS, and Key Club, countless others do. Keep this up. Keeping an open door also means offering help to your neighbor. Never miss the chance to help another person in need. Let gratitude and generosity be at the forefront of what you do. I'm hard-pressed to find a generous person who's also unhappy. Make time to serve others. In order to do this, though, we need to purposely build in time. Psychologists refer to these as margins. Don't fill up every day to the extent that you rush by a person in need in the busyness of life. As your class motto states, no matter the distance, at the end of the day, we are all under the same stars. Include service as a part of your day-to-day in micro and macro ways, and I guarantee that doing so will bring you happiness. Century Class of 2021, your teachers are so proud of you. We are excited to see what you create, what you engineer, what you invent. We look forward to hearing about how much you have grown via an open mind, how many people you've helped by keeping an open door. You'll always be in our hearts, and you'll always be a JAG. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. On behalf of the Hillsboro School District Board of Directors, Lisa Allen, Martin Granum, Erica Lopez, Yadira Martinez, Jackie Spross, Sheehan Kim, Mark Watson, Student Representative to the Board, Maya Smith, and Superintendent Mike Scott, I am proud to present to you the members of Century High School's graduating class of 2021. They have met all of the requirements of the Hillsboro School District and the state of Oregon. President Katie McKinley, please approach the microphone. Now is the time we've all been waiting for.
The presentation of the diplomas. We will start with our valedictorians and salutatorians, followed by the rest of the class.
Kathleen Taylor.
Aaron Mewson.
Brian Nguyen.
Dakota Mason.
Lori Tunchup Tran.
Sunny Xing Ni Tai. Abby Bradley. Ella Pratt. Zoe Perkins.
Kelly Mewson. Katie Albertine.
Mackenzie Hanley Cannon.
Elias Semenyuk. Dalton Burke.
Trisha Edmiston.
Raja Shakya.
Justin Hazlett.
Paul Nguyen. Tyler Strid.
Jake Slocum.
Christian Ellingson.
Daisy Garibay.
Bailey Linderstein.
Caitlin Bake.
Aubrey Kalaloha Edwards.
Elizabeth Brown.
Christopher Glose.
Andrew Antoine.
Peyton Nickus.
Niduka Higodagamage.
Joshua Hernandez Moreno.
Ian Hopkins.
Daniel Biorgi.
Eric James Javier.
Abigail Silva.
Tara Leek Wilson.
Graham Andrew Wood. Whoa. Graham Andrew Wood.
Seth Fame. Luke Fame.
Henry Wills.
Aaron Thraves. Emma Humphrey. Riley Buckley.
Mom, are you recording? Lucila Gonzalez. Madison Rigo.
Congratulations.
Bennett Parkinson.
Congratulations.
Kason Hammer.
Broderick Reese.
Paige Grossum.
Congratulations.
Tabitha Wood.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Brent Dyke.
Cynthia Nunez.
Andy Trung.
Cameron Whitney.
Congratulations.
John Babia.
Congratulations.
Jessica Aragon.
Congratulations.
Melissa Aparicio.
Congratulations.
Melanie Falzine.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Lizzie Boo.
Angie Valentina Cervantes Giron.
Kathy Holland Tran.
Stephanie Carlson.
Ding Tran. Dylan Mead.
Sharia Singhania.
Congratulations.
April Snow.
Aiden O'Brien.
Congratulations.
Kayla Villanueva.
Aaliyah Delgado.
Congratulations.
Annalise Ness.
Ahmed Ali.
Caden Robinson.
Congratulations.
Jasenia Taylor. Jessica Taylor.
Lisa Trung.
Esther Kwan.
Daniel Tigas.
Jeffrey Reeder.
Maggie Hernandez.
Amanda Etherton.
Nick Legree.
Congratulations.
Tyler Thraves.
Congratulations.
Zach Lehman.
Congratulations.
Andrew Marine.
Congratulations. Yes.
Abel Schaaf.
Congratulations.
Kieran Oldfield.
Congratulations.
Sarah Schmidt.
Congratulations.
Christina Richmond. Kelsey Bennett.
Congratulations.
Ryan Carpenter Jr.
Natasha Teagarden.
Peyton Bowie. Henry Clem.
Alyssa Schlimgen.
Nice work, my friend.
Natasha Smezrud.
Congratulations. You ready, Mark? Sure.
Alexis McKiernan.
Congratulations.
Christopher Nguyen.
Tony Ramirez.
Oscar Cornejo.
Rudy Zamorano.
Kevin Roman.
Anthony Martinez.
Eric Ortega.
Sarah Gill.
Martin Rivera.
Pablo Reyes Gotera.
Malik Wallman.
Madeline Schwartz. Sierra Maikai Nakaoka.
Luke Henderson.
Jaden Kennedy.
Manuel Salgado. Samwise Hance.
Brianna DeBoard.
Andrea Adofina.
Maytin Se Chow. Edna Abdulkareem Noor.
Abu Bakr Noor.
Beza Asfa Norahun. Christy Jumping Angira.
Daniela Castrejón González.
Parker Davenport.
Pamela Rico Silva. Marina Rodríguez Pérez.
Andrew L. Ho.
Sydney Neville.
Leanne Doty. Kylie Hill.
Madison McGinnis Santmeyer.
Bronson Revere.
Angel Sandoval.
Joshua Gartner.
Justin Gartner.
Hildardo Nambo Gaona.
Edgar Ruiz.
Joy Marin.
Crystal Garza. Anastasia Dawson.
David Lambert.
Javier Isaac Rodriguez Figueroa.
Angelo Riley Valdez Endal.
Haley Mahan.
Fartoon Mohammed.
Krista Marsh.
Jimmy Schaefer.
Jada Calderon. Mia Michelle Schock.
Can I say it? Olivia Kozlowskis.
Naveen Makbul.
This is for my mom and dad, Adamaris Perez Ramirez.
Alexander Diaz Arriaga.
Ayla Hexabel Mendez Mendoza. Carolina Chavez Barrios.
Spencer Poland.
Dylan Mason.
Haley Iberg.
Ethan Saviors.
Yeah, Ethan!
Owen Edgar.
Zach Baylor.
Leah Hetman.
Ethan LeBar.
Donovan Getman.
Romla Aden.
Fartun Ibrahim.
Ella Smith. Haley Powers.
McKenna Adams. Selena Salmeron Reina.
Levi Ashman.
Dylan Hepworth. We made it. James Hancock.
Brianna Loza.
Salas Pablo Luis.
Jetta Jarvis.
Victoria Yanis.
Franco Rodriguez.
Miriam Lopez.
Ela Castañeda.
Jasmine Denton. Emma Vance.
Elliot Mott.
Andrew P. Ho.
Angren.
Ferris Abedi.
Elias Angel Pascual.
Peyton Newcomb.
Joel Scott.
Philip Quinn.
Andy Wynn.
Miles Jurashin.
Jacob Bailey.
Hi, Mom. Brisa Santana. Tiffany Rubio Islas. Gabrielle Ira Victoriano.
Nayeli Navarro.
Citlali Tapia Guillen. Adilene Pantoja.
Flori Ijich.
Joven Chang.
Jaden Moore.
Evan Wynn.
Hawk Dunn.
Caitlin Mua. Aaron Herr. Ruby Espinoza.
Elizabeth Ariola Mejia.
Leslie Rios Santos.
Jenny Ka.
Congratulations.
Kylie Long. Olivia Vargas.
Carlos Flores.
Kira Smith.
Alfonso Bran Mandojano.
Jasmine Brown.
Congratulations.
Jasmine James.
Evan Vore.
Congratulations.
Michelle Soak.
Jesse Upchurch. Dylan Springer.
I would like to dedicate this moment to David Lambert. Thank you for always believing me. Marcus Olmedo.
Congratulations.
Demarie Coles.
Congratulations.
Gabriela García Mendoza. Cassandra Guzmán Ibarra. Maya Edwards.
You're going to meet Mr. Granum. He's a nice guy.
Nolan Pruitt.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Ningo.
Miko Cruz.
Keani Santos.
Dominic Mayan Campos.
Congratulations.
This close?
Congratulations.
Kaylee Swenson. Kaylee Swenson.
Madeline Brady.
Congratulations.
Samantha Selwyn.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Emery Mita. Hannah Hall.
Ruben Alcazar Polvos. Lee.
Congratulations.
Eric Mancera de la O. Joseph Herrera.
Jonathan Baye.
Madison Morris.
Nathan McRobert.
Joseph Lee.
Suhaila Makbul. Ocean Nelson. Madeline Pelham.
Andre Esteban.
EJ Tugano.
Caleb Colburn. Ethan Tran.
Eddie Durham Essien. Dante Powell. Vol Lee.
Emilio Hernandez.
Zach Alberson.
Corbin Wallace.
Cameron Kennard.
Ángel Arriola Pérez.
Miles O'Connor.
Congratulations.
Alexander Armando Donis.
Sarah Dubois.
Congratulations.
Logan Adams.
Congratulations.
Gavin Lawson.
Congratulations, friend.
Braden Starren.
Congratulations, friend.
Daniela Vasquez.
Anchors away. Oh, yeah. Way to go.
Randy Velasquez.
Congratulations.
This is for my dad who couldn't make it, Adolfo Jr. Mejia.
Nathan Martinez.
Congratulations, friend.
Conan Luafutu.
María Anaí Contreras Contreras.
John Sherman Senator Casper.
Maxwell Lindsay.
Congratulations, friend.
Jordan Itoga.
Alyssa Griffiths.
Andrew Arada.
Allison Griffiths.
Congratulations, friend.
Elizabeth Hutchison.
Sarah Den.
Andrea Escalera.
Love you, Grandpa. Maya Thompson. Alexa Hoffman.
Anthony Garcia Gutierrez.
Adam Guerrero.
Ethan Ferrante.
Andy Villarreal.
I'm Caden Phillips.
Hello, I'm Michael Switchkus and I'm graduating. Woohoo.
Xander Haney.
Roland Cortez.
Excel Estrella Valencia.
Noemi Rico.
Quinn Wozni Richter.
Kayla Lalick.
Isa Ahmed.
Kevin Dunkel.
Joy Lee. Michelle Baker.
Nicholas Bryant.
Zach Crowell.
Hunter Beckman.
Blake Rhodes.
Jalen Gill.
Hayden Ferris.
Ian Dostert.
Caleb Morrison.
Zachary Denman.
Francisco Ernesto Aguilar Vega.
Tao Tofayono.
Megan LeMay.
Ava Mastrantonio. score it all.
Chapman?
William Parasid.
Angel Cruzale Gonzalez.
Angel, come on. Let's go. Buddy. It's so good to see you. I know. How are you? It's great to see you here today. Yes. Angel, come here. I have something for you. This is for you, Angel. Can you show it to your family? Hold it, Angel. Hold it up. Hold it up. Yay, Angel!
Hello, my name is Bryant Lopez.
Hello, my name is Ryan Barfoot.
Andrea Walker.
Hello. My name is Corbin.
are so proud of you. Congratulations. You did a great job. Here, show this one here. Take it and hold it up so that they can see it. Way to go! We are so proud of you. Congratulations. You can take a mask and that. Wait a minute. Right there, let's go.
Hi, my name is Anna Hare.
Jackson Wang.
Evan Pierce.
Jose Santos.
Guillermo Gomez.
Congratulations, friend.
Anna Castillo. Maya Mahelani Smith.
Way to go, Maya.
Christian Andre Rojas Barrett.
Grace Curley. Katie McKinley.
Congratulations, well done.
Will the class of 2021 please stand? There's just a little bit more, folks. Hang on.
Hang on, just a little bit more. We're almost there. The Century staff, students, parents, and family congratulate you on the successful completion of your high school education. Make this moment just the beginning of your future, filled with friendship and accomplishments. It has been my distinct honor to be your principal for the past 4 years. Our congratulations and best wishes to each of you. Graduates, please stand where you are, turn and face the stands. Take a moment to look up at your parents, your guardians, your family members, and your friends. Please give them a round of applause for their commitment to you. Also, take a moment tonight to find your teachers and thank them for their hard work with you. Graduates, to signify that you are now a graduate of the class of 2021 of Century High School and the Hillsboro School District, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left. Mr. Scott and guests, it is my distinct pleasure to present the class of 2021. You may toss your hats. The class of 2021 is dismissed. Thank you for joining us this evening. As a reminder, hang on guys, as a reminder, graduates will be dismissed row by row and directed to exit the north side of the field. Graduates, don't forget the bags under each of your chairs. It's full of senior swag. Guests will not be allowed on the field and will need to instead be asked to exit the same way they entered, keeping physical distancing in mind. You're then asked to drive around to the north end of the stadium to pick up your student and exit the property. Please be courteous and respectful, and thank you for joining us for a great evening. Bump.
At this time, our back row is dismissed down our farewell tunnel. Our back row, row 10, please follow Ms. Madolo and Mr. Corwin through our farewell tunnel.
I had a feeling it might be. Yep.
No, they're doing it. They're moving. It's fine.
That went really well, Julie.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Row 9. Once row 10 gets all the way out of their row, row 9, please follow them. You'll notice we've got some familiar faces cheering you on and saying goodbye in our farewell tunnel. Graduates, please make your way towards Mr. Corwin and Miss Madolo. On the west side of the field, we have a farewell tunnel for you to exit through.
Well done, organizer.
Thank you so much. Happy to be the first. They're walking through their elementary school teachers.
That's awesome. So good.
We
We keep the names.
This is their elementary and middle school teachers right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
We keep the names. We keep the tunnel. It worked. It was so worth it.
You don't know how many kids said, I'm not going to say my name. And then
And then
once
they did.
we only had to do one. We had about 50 kids saying, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. The only thing we were worried about was if they do something inappropriate, but I don't think they're not going to do
You
that.
kids said hi, Mom. But
Yeah,
man,
that's
if
not-
that's as bad as it gets,
That's not a
we'll
problem.
take that.
They rose to the occasion.
I thought so
They did
too.
a great
This
job.
is cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
This was a special one, Julie, in its own way.
Yeah.
Very special. Every one of these is special, but every year has a.
I didn't think we'd keep the parents in the stands.
No, neither did
And I
I.
didn't think we'd get the graduates over there, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
But it worked.
It's,
Nice
it's
job.
weird not to shake their hand. You know,
Oh.
I mean, that's all weird. But this was cool.
Yeah.
Plus, we've just been craving it. I mean,
Yes.
just
Well, we
anything.
sat down and they said, Scott, I'm getting a little misty.
I
thought,
know.
"Oh, I haven't been with the kids.
I'm
Seeing
so
some of
true.
those kids come across, Julie, just so awesome.
When she said this is our first and last time together, it's
Yeah.
like, oh.
I know.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
They're
Go ahead.
for, Maya, they're for you guys. They're for all of our guests.
Yep. That was beautiful. And it had nothing to do with what you said about me.
What elementary school did you go to?
That was just beautiful what you said about service, everything.
Every word, especially the
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
It was very special tonight, you guys.
Scott, really nice job.
There's a Dutch Rose in Harbor.
So proud of you guys. You did
Thank
great.
you so much. For everything.
Really proud of you, Katie. Really proud of you.
Don't make me cry.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
See ya.
That
Have a good
speech
night.